News.
You're hearing new reaction tonight after the man who killed Ole Miss student Jimmie Jay Lee pleaded guilty to his death. Sheldon Timothy Herrington Jr. pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and tampering with evidence. It's a murder case many of you have heard about that gained national attention. The original trial ended in a mistrial last December. The reason? Prosecutors couldn't prove Lee was dead because his body was never found. However, that changed when Lee's remains were discovered earlier this year. 3 on Your Side's Quentin Smith has been following this story for us from the very beginning and joins us now. And Quentin, do we know how much time Herrington could spend behind bars?
Well, Courtney, and prosecutors plan to ask the judge to hand down the maximum sentence of 40 years behind bars. Now, the timing really tells this story. Get this, the guilty plea comes just as jurors were being selected for the retrial, which was set to begin this week. In fact, opening arguments were set to take place tomorrow morning. This time around, prosecutors had something they did not have the first time: Lee's body. Prosecutors were planning to prove Herrington killed Lee and then tried to get rid of the body. This guilty plea comes as family members of Lee spent years searching for justice and closure.
In a high-profile murder trial in North Mississippi.
It was more than 3 years ago when this murder case gripped this entire state.
Sheldon Timothy Herrington Jr. is accused of killing his former Ole Miss classmate, Jimmie Jay Lee.
Sheldon Timothy Herrington Jr. killing Jimmie Jay Lee. In a stunning twist, investigators say Lee was in a romantic relationship with Herrington. Prosecutors argued Herrington kidnapped and killed Lee because he did not want their secret to get out. Let me walk you through how we got to this point. Everything dates back to July 8th of 2022. That's the last time Lee was seen alive. 2 weeks later, on July 22nd, Herrington was arrested and charged with capital murder. More than 2 years later, Herrington went to trial, and on December 11th of 2024, things ended in a mistrial. In a shocking confession, the lone juror stated their reason is because Lee's body was never found. But that changed on February 1st of this year. That's when hunters discovered human remains in the woods in Carroll County. Just days later, on the 5th, investigators confirmed those remains belonged to Lee. Later that month, Herrington was re-indicted and his bond was denied following this discovery. That brings us to where we are now. December 1st, the same week the retrial was set to begin, Herrington pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Supporters of Lee are now hoping the judge will hand down a stiff punishment.
I hope that the sentencing is in support of what justice looks like. It's more than just you just going to prison. Honey, you need to be up in there forever. You need some time to think. I mean, again, I keep saying Tim played in our face.
Now, that sentencing will take place tomorrow morning in Oxford, and we will be inside the courtroom, and we'll bring you the latest details both on air and online at WLBT.com. Quentin Smith, 3 on Your Side.